There was one man, a man of the masses, who looked at Parliament, our Indian Parliament, as a place where a common person could get release from his aching pain. Yes, I am talking about one and the only one, Barrister Nath. And today in Prudent Gazali, we are privileged to have Barrister Nath's son, Mr. Dilip Pai. Dilip is based in Austria. After his father's death, he moved with his mother. He was a 4-year-old kid then. He moved to Austria and he has been living over there. Dilip, in India, we not only speak with respect about your father, but we speak with devotion about your father. An honest man, a sincere man, a man with integrity, an orator, a down-to-earth person, and somebody who really lived for the people. Such is our respect for him. He was a politician. Normally in India, we give all sort of bad words to politicians. But here was an exception. Though he was a politician, he was a statesman. That's the difference that we feel. We are really privileged that we have you with us. You were 4 years old when you went away. Yes. What are your memories of your father? Do you remember him directly or you heard about him?
Since I was 4 years old, unfortunately, when he died, I don't remember too much about him directly. But a lot of friends, relatives, people told me about him and told me about his style and his debates in parliament and how he talked and what kind of politician he was. So sadly, the memory I have is not a direct one, but mostly what people told me about him.
And I'm sure people must have told you a lot of good things about him. Today evening, we are going, Subodh, you and me, we are going to Vengurla. That was your father's birthplace. He was born on 25th September 1922 in Vengurla. That is across the border. And coming from Vengurla, it's a small tiny place, a village in the Konkan area, what we call it as. Your father was a brand ambassador for Konkan area. He dreamt of all round development of that, not only Vengurla but the entire Konkan region. And he used to always ask one thing. He used to feel that Konkan had suffered a lot. He used to say that when all of us, all these people from the Konkan region, they are being born from the same womb as the rest of Maharashtra or rest of India, why is that Konkan suffering? Why is not Konkan developing? That was his passion, that he wanted to work for it. You will be going, have you visited Konkan area earlier, or this will be the first time that you will be seeing the land of your father's dreams?
This will be the first time.
This will be the first
yes.
time. And Dilip, this Konkan railway which is there, today we are going by car, but tomorrow I suppose you are traveling in the Konkan railway.
Yes.
This Konkan railway, we owe it to your father. That was the brainchild of your father. What are your feelings about traveling in that Konkan railway, which connects, which is really brought out a revolution in India?
Yes. When I made the planning for this journey, I read in the internet that it was his idea, his vision to have that Konkan railway built. And so I thought going from Goa back to Mumbai, where we are going tomorrow, I can either fly, and then I read about that Konkan railway, and I thought, no, I want to go with that railway because it was the idea of my father, and so it makes me proud to travel on that railway, and I think it's a special thing if you can travel on a railway which your father had the idea and the vision about.
Now you are based in Austria.
Yes.
What kind of work you do in Austria?
I'm working for the municipality of Vienna. The municipality is running hospitals and homes for the elderly people, and I'm working for the department of the elderly people.
I see. Now, when you say you're working for the elderly people, like you're concerned more with the medical angle or from the finances angle for them?
From the finance view. I'm responsible for coordinating the finances for 12 homes for the elderly people.
I see, 12 homes.
12 homes, yes.
Now, what is the current trend over there? When people grow old, do they stay in their families or they normally stay in the old age homes?
We try to let the people stay in the with their family or if necessary alone, as long as possible, because the home is always the place where person is used to the surroundings, and people should stay at home as long as possible. If that's not possible anymore, then people are shifted to a home for the elderly people.
Like, what must be roughly the number of people who are in old age homes in Austria today?
You mean in absolute numbers?
Yeah.
Will be Austria is a small place. We have only whole of inhabitants is only about 8 million. So there will be only a few 100,000 who live in these homes.
Few 100,000 is a big number by Indian standards.
I know.
Normally people live at homes.
I know.
We get scandalized by that number. I'm not trying to say it is good or bad. I'm not passing a value judgment. But I think we think little differently. Do the children visit then these old age homes?
A lot of them do. They visit either parents, but sadly there are also cases where there's no contact anymore. It might also be that children have moved to other places, so then there's no contact anymore.
It is a socialist state, right?
We have now a coalition between the Socialist Party and the People's Party.
I see. And see, here in India, we looked at your father as a brand ambassador of socialism. That is how we recognize him. What are your political opinions?
I think it's many states in Europe also have a strong social welfare system, and I think it's necessary, and I think it's a good idea, because people on their own sometimes can't manage and can't overcome social obstacles, and so I think it's a necessity that the society cares for these people. Okay.
Dilip, you might be knowing or you may not be knowing, way back in 1954, I may be wrong in a year and there, Barrister Nath, he was elected as the first non-European president of the International Union of the Socialist Youth, headquarters in Austria over there, Vienna over there. Now, that's a great thing to be a first non-European, because those were the days where there were biases and there were prejudices. People didn't like outsiders. What is the scenario today? Like, is it really a global and open world, or you all look at the third world citizens like us with suspicion? Is there, do you find a discrimination against Africans or Asians, and Europeans are different? Because see, you come from a land of Austria, from which gave birth to Hitler also, and to the ideology that the race is supreme or the domination of the Europe, that kind of a thing. Have things changed really? The mindsets, I am not on the politics.
I would say that there are different kinds of attitudes now developing. One is where society gets freer and the opinions get freer. It's one thing. And
like, see, for instance, like, I'll be more specific. Like, we get a thing now, many times people in America, the mothers in America, they say, look, study well, otherwise the Indian children are studying well and they will take your jobs. Do you feel that kind of a competitive, not you personally, but do Austrians feel that kind of a competition towards the third world countries? That we are snatching away something from the morsels from your...
Yeah, it is also there. Especially in the last years, because with the refugees coming from different countries, like with the war in Syria and with refugees coming from Afghanistan. So this was a great discussion also in Austria, and especially in last year. And then the discussion got more fierce, and it's like also what's happening with the terrorism, and then also the attitudes I think changed in the last few years.
What are what are Austria's perceptions about terrorism? Like, do you all know what India is facing, or like, what are the solutions that you all envisage to end terrorism?
What's a common idea with many people is if you close borders, then you can prevent terrorism. Because they say with refugees coming into Austria, some of these refugees also might be terrorists.
They might themselves be terrorists.
Yeah, and if it's only 1%, then you might have terrorists, like it happened in France with the terrorist attacks on the nightclub Bataclan. And these were also, some of them were refugees, like in Belgium, like in Germany. I mean, we in Austria, till now, in a very, we are quite lucky, because up till now we had no terrorist attacks in our place, and we were really lucky. But still, the people fear that if there are too many refugees coming into Austria, there's the danger that also terrorists might come with them, and that the terrorists might use these open borders, and that you might import.
Now, Austria was the ground from where, you know, this world war was launched at once upon a time. Are there fears that there would be a third world war? Are there memories in minds of people about the earlier two world wars, and how they view at the...
With the older people, I think the memory is still there, because when the World War II ended in 45, so with the older people, you have of course still the memory of the war, and how the war began, and so I think with these people there's still an awareness. Also, if you have, like I had, my grandmother and my mother, my mother was 8 years old when the Second World War started. So she still had remembrance on the World War, and how Vienna was bombed, and all these things. So, but once this knowledge is gone, I think also then it might be more the knowledge then will get lost, because up till now also it was quite common that in schools survivors of the concentration camps came over in schools, and they told about their experience, how they experienced the concentration camps, and so also the children got an education and heard about the happenings over there. And but now these last survivors are already 90 or more than 100 years old. In a few years, if they die, all that knowledge, the direct knowledge will be gone, the experiences will be gone. So I think then the future, the people won't have that much direct knowledge, and it won't have that impact on the people, because it's already getting too far away, and you only hear it you can read it via books, but you don't have the personal experience you get from.
That is true. Speaking about the books, see, your father, Barrister Nath, he was a very voracious reader. Do you read?
Yes, I read quite a lot.
And do you read about India?
Yes.
Like, what are the books you have read from Indian authors?
I read the books about Amitav Ghosh.
Okay. Incidentally, he is based often in Goa. Amitav Ghosh, yeah.
And also Chetan Bhagat. And I read The White Tiger.
Okay.
Then several, and keep on reading also Indian books quite a lot.
Since you have come sometimes to India, you must have interacted with many Indians. Like, what kind of a difference you find in Austrian people and Indian people? What are the similarities you find and the dissimilarities?
People here in India are, if you just go around the street somewhere, they are very friendly and open-minded, and want to know where you come from and what you're doing here.
Yes.
And that's not so common in our place. in our place, the people are much more reserved, and I think that's quite a main difference.
What is it we Indians we could learn from Austrians? There must be some better points that they are there.
I don't know if there would be better points. It's different. I don't know if there are better points, but it's nice if you go around and everywhere in the last 10 days where we went, we were always treated very friendly, and the people were very open-minded, and so it's just nice to go around, and you have the impression that you are really welcome here.
See, what we remember of Barrister Nath in India, that he was very much concerned about the nation. He worried for the nation. He always wanted to do his bit for the nation. He cared for its reputation. Now, I am asking this in context of what is the youth in Austria today like? Are they more individualistic, or they think in terms of the nation?
I would say they are getting more and more individualistic.
Okay. What is the reason? Industrialization, or what is happening?
Industrialization might be one factor. I think it might be the main reason, and also a few years back, perhaps it was easier to get, like when you started with your first job, it was easier to get a working place. So now it's getting more and more difficult, and so now I think that's the thing that people are, the reason why are people getting more and more individualistic, because they just care for themselves, because the competition is growing, and I think that's the reason why.
Dilip, in our country, we look at politicians as not the solution to our problems, but often as problem creators. I mean, we have a lot of suspicion and distrust about them. How are the perspectives in Australia? How you all look at your politicians? Are you as wary of them as we are in India? Or?
Not that bad, like you mentioned it just now.
Okay.
No, I think it would be better, but there's also, especially in the last years, there has been a decline in respect, I would say. Formerly, especially in the years after the Second World War, in the 60s, 70s, I think at that time it was better. There was still a time when there was more respect, but in the last years I think that's continuously declining.
No, because why I ask this question is, see, Austria has a quaint history where you all lapsed into a dictatorship. Could that happen again if people get disillusioned with democracy?
Well, we are experiencing similar, let's say, dictatorship is a little bit far-fetched, but like in other places in Europe, you get the impression that I wouldn't say dictatorships, but
you know why this disillusionment is relevant for me? Your father, Barrister Nath, he was a great Democrat. At the same time, I suspect that even he used to get disillusioned. We have his famous quote over here where he had said that sometimes democracy is government of the incompetent, by the corrupt, and for the helpless. Do such thoughts are entertained?
I would say yes.
That is what it comes to.
Yeah. They are
What
also
kept
there.
you away from politics? We had great expectations from your father, you are his blood. I mean, we seem to like you just because you are his son, without knowing anything for you. Anybody in India would want to vote for you because you are his son. You must be, even if you are half good, you would be great with him.
That's a great honor for me that after so many years, because he died in 71, and now that's really a long time ago, and I feel a great honor that after such a long time, you still have such a good remembrance of him, and that's really also a nice experience for me to see that he's still not forgotten after that many years.
Dilip, today evening we'll be going to Vengurla. We'll be going down the memory lane. We'll be meeting your father's comrades, his friends, people who are of the old. My question is not about history. We trust you'll be coming back again and again to India. You seem to like India. What is your vision for India? Your father really cared for India. If given an opportunity, if you could do something for India, what you would like to do?
My vision for India. One thing that it stays a peaceful place. Because now again there are these tensions with Pakistan, and I think that's one of the most important things, that it stays peaceful, and what would be great that the inequality in India gets, there's a great inequality here, and that would be great if that can be somehow put on a more one level.
Yes, that's a nice, well said. Dilip, we really look forward someday come back to India, settle in India. We were very proud of your father, and I'm sure that you are inherited that legacy. It would be great to have you back in India. We really cherish his memories, and we see him in you. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.